Hey, what's going on, RTAG Nation? Looking forward to today's podcast with you. We are a few days away from the convention. Today, we have a very special guest, Justin Ritter, who is the Senior Manager of Pilot Hiring Programs at the United Airlines. He stops by and we talk everything about United Airlines. And we'll talk a little bit about the convention, gearing you up a special episode on Tuesday today, because we're just a few days away from the convention. This is the RTAG Nation Podcast. That's right. Welcome back to the RTAG Nation Podcast. This is the last podcast that we are doing before the National Convention. It is Tuesday today that you are watching, and we start loading in on Friday. People are coming in on Thursday for all the volunteer people getting ready for the convention this year in Denver, Colorado at the Colorado Convention Center. There is still time as of this airing right now to get tickets and to purchase tickets if you're a civilian. We're going to talk through a quick overview. And then tomorrow, I want to remind you, we have an RTAG Nation podcast live with Jim McClung and Tim Kirschbaum, my fellow compatriots on the board of directors at RTAG. We're going to talk about it, get excited about it, and they're actually flying in on Thursday morning, so we are pumped to see them. But we're going to answer your questions live, so if you want to see that, make sure that you look at that event on our social media. That'll be on Facebook and YouTube. We have quite a bit to talk about, and I want to run through this really quick because I do not want to take up much time from my interview with Justin Ritter. I don't want to have to keep you on this phone call longer than you need to be because Justin and I go through a ton of stuff at United. You are going to want to see them at the convention. If United is your spot, that's where you're going to want to watch this interview that we have with Justin Ritter. So, Nation, here you go. If you have already registered, you've gotten emails. I just sent up another email last night. In fact, I sent two because it accidentally said RTAG 2026 for the hashtag. We'll talk about that in a second. And I sent an update to fix that. But there are still Friday night parties to sign up for. That's in that email. There's those are still open to sign up. Break Turn has one. Air Methods has one still to sign up for. Odyssey Pilot Hours still has one to sign up for. And there's a lot to do on Friday night if you come in. So if you are registered already and you have your tickets and you're ready to go and you're there on Friday from 4 to 6 p.m., you can come do a check-in, right? You've already registered for the event. You can do the check-in from 4 to 6 p.m., get your lanyard, get your bag, get all your stuff ready so that you can come straight in around 8 o'clock on Saturday morning to see the opening ceremonies. You are not going to want to miss the opening ceremonies. If you haven't yet been to an RTAG to see our opening ceremonies, it is going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a t-shirt cannon. We're going to shoot some t-shirts out at you. We've got some pre-show slideshows. We've got some information on our scholarships that have been out and where your money has been going over the last few years of RTAG. Very, very excited to share that with you. We've got presentation of the colors. We've got national anthem. It's going to be fantastic, and we cannot wait to see you there. If for some reason you're not coming in until after that 6 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, starting at 7:30 a.m., you can come and check in all the way up till 8:35 a.m. We'll hold everybody after that until after the opening ceremonies to about 9:15, 9:20. Then we'll restart check-in. Check-in will go all day, Saturday and Sunday. And yes, your ticket is good for both days. So you have that QR code in your email. When you come to check in, our people will scan your QR code, give you your lanyard, give you your bags, all the stuff that you need. If you have tickets for the Saturday night scholarship party, you'll get a hard ticket there from them as well at that time for you. And those are good for both days. So you just need your QR code once when you check in, and then that QR code from the Saturday scholarship party ticket, which is shaping up to be fantastic. I am so sorry if you missed it. We've got about 1,000 people attending that, and it is going to be one night you will not want to forget. And then that evening, we're also releasing where we are at next year for the RTAG National Convention. And we are pumped about what it looks like. We've been working really hard in the background. Last week, if you didn't see it, I talked about what's coming with the new donations, and that is the legacy donations. And so if you want to go back and check that out, I'll link that in the description or put a card up here somewhere. You can go back and look at last week's legacy information. You're going to want to see about what that is. It's a way for you to donate, to leave a legacy for the groups that come behind us. And it's a way for you to get some special recognition and authentic limited edition swag from us as well as part of your donation. And we are pumped about what that's going to bring for getting us closer to our $500,000 in scholarship giveaways, which is what our next target and next goal is. So convention times, we've talked about when you can check in. We've talked about your registration. We've talked about it's still open for registration, so you can still register right now, even if you're coming in for a quick day or whatever you want to do. Our hotel blocks are sold out. Y'all, we went through so many hotel rooms, and we want to thank you for using those blocks. But there are still hotels in the downtown area that are very, very close. So even if you can't find a hotel, well, you can't find a hotel in our block, you can still find hotels that are down there to get you set up. If you got the email, I want to bring up right now, we are giving away, via the kindness and generosity of Southwest Airlines, we're giving away a round trip ticket for somebody that we're going to pick at random. We're going to let the computer pick it all at random. The AI that's taken over, if you will, Skynet is going to pick out a winner. And all you have to do to participate is take pictures of your time here, post some posts about your time here on social media, and use the hashtag RTAG 2025, not 2026, as I put in the first email yesterday. I changed it up and put it to 2025, but RTAG 2025 on your social media. And we're going to let the machine go out and look at all of those posts, and we're going to put it into a machine and let it spit out a winner for you. And then we're going to be doing a bunch of giveaways at the convention. We have an RTAG alumni booth for the first time this year. We have 5 gentlemen that have stepped up, that have gone all the way through the different aspects of RTAG transitions. So they've done RTPs out of the military. We have some enlisted to airlines. We have people that are at legacies now that have gone through regionals, ULCCs, cargo. They're going to have all of this mentorship help for you. So if you're kind of looking for what it looks like in that next step, you can visit the RTAG alumni booth. It's going to be awesome. We'll talk about it more in the opening ceremonies as well at the convention. And then we also have the legacy booth, which we're going to talk a ton about this year. And then we have our merch booth, which we are super excited. As always, we have some new stuff for you, and it's going to be really, really good. Some good new swag that we think you'll really like to wear. And we've got some special stuff for the kiddos as well. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So those are all the big updates. If you haven't got the app also linked in the email that you got sent out, but you can also go to our YouTube channel, and it's on the shorts. You can look up how to download the app and grab what you need on the app. On Thursday, I will be putting the floor plan on the app. So we'll have all of that set up, all the speakers. It will be finalized and completed. Every piece of information you need will be on that app by Thursday. It's about 99% there already. And we are excited to be able to get that to you this year. If you're using iOS, or using Android, it works on both. So we have some other big announcements that I can't talk about here on this podcast yet. We will talk about them next week on next week's podcast, but we have some big reveals at the convention that we're going to do. We are going to live stream the scholarship winners. So the people that are in the finalists category, they've all been notified. A bunch of them are coming, but if you were a finalist and weren't able to come yet, we are going to be live streaming the announcement of all of the winners, and we'll make sure we contact you after that. And then we'll talk all about that and what that looks like for next year and for your scholarships to be able to get those. And we're excited to share how much in scholarships we're able to give away this year at the scholarship party this year. So next year, going to be exciting. Going to be in October, going to be in a cool place, and we're going to be announcing that soon. So without wasting any more time, those are the updates for RTAG this year. I want to jump into this interview. I got to spend 35 minutes with Justin Ritter. He is the Senior Manager of Pilot Hiring Programs at United. We talk about the UMPP. We talk about the traditional hiring. We talk about the United Aviate Academy. All of those options are great. If you didn't know, United has said they are hiring a ton of people. I'm telling you, they are hiring a lot in the next 3 years, the rest of this year and the next 2 years for sure. If you ever had United in your sights and that's where you wanted to be, now's the time to go. And it's the time to really buckle down and pay attention to what you're hearing in this podcast, and then let's apply that at the convention. So let's jump over right now to Justin Ritter. All right, Justin Ritter sitting with us. We are so glad to have you here. Thanks so much for being here, and I've been really looking forward to sitting down with you and talking to you about United.
Absolutely. No, it's my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation today.
Yeah, this is the first time that we've talked since I've joined the team, so it's a little fun for me to be able to. I think the last time we talked was just before RTAG last year, and so this is fun to be able to say, yeah, everything Justin is saying is not only exactly true, but it's also much better than that. So if United is the place that you want to be, you definitely want to pay attention to what we're going to talk about in the podcast.
Yeah. How's your experience been so far? How have the last 6 months or so been for you?
Yeah, for me, it has been really better than I thought it would be, in all honesty. You know, for coming from a person who totally felt like I understood the industry and understood a lot about the airlines and what they had to offer, it's a little different when you finally get there and see it from the perspective. And one of the things I talked about in the podcast when I did the ride report that you joined me on was that the culture that was spread from the day I got there was super cool. You just feel like you're part of the family. It's very military-esque that you want to, this is a place you want to protect, and it's super fun. And it's been great. Flying the line has been fantastic with everybody. Has just been wonderful. Everybody seems really happy, which is great. And we're being aggressive, which I love. I mean, you can just look at anything in the news and see we're being aggressive in the right spots, and we're making great moves, and we're taking good care of customers. And it's been a lot of fun.
That's great to hear. I'm so glad to hear that. Have you been able to fly anywhere cool recently, or just a lot of domestic turns?
No, actually, the two places that I've went that I'm in love with and it's maybe just because our overnights are awesome, but Vancouver, Canada, our overnight is right by the seawall. You can literally walk down. I mean, it's not even 0.2 of a mile. Right down the street, grab a coffee and just watch seaplanes take off all day. Or like for me, I want to go and run the seawall around there. That is awesome overnight. And then I really love San Luis Obispo, which
my God, amazing. Yeah.
That was my very first elite flight was San Luis Obispo. We stayed overnight and it was such a cool overnight. So yeah, we've been able to go to quite a few cool places. So
that's great. That's awesome. I'm glad you're having fun, and we're so pleased to have you on the United team as well.
Thanks. I love it. And I'm ready to get off probation though. So I'm good.
Of course.
I got 3 months left. I'm super excited about it, but it's been great. Well, hey, we got a lot to talk about. So I kind of want to jump right in. We are, when this airs, we will be about 2 weeks from live at the convention. So we got a lot to talk about, and it's really, really neat. And first thing that I want to talk about is you all have been coming back since Susan White was at United in San Diego, and just so much has changed since 2021 into what we're seeing now with all of the places the airlines hiring, but especially with what United's doing. So I kind of want to talk a few of the different programs you have, and really let's start with the one thing is let's talk about applications, because not too long ago you all changed into a different way to do applications. And I wanted to ask you specifically, what are some things that you're seeing, either the way people are turning in applications or what they're doing and updating, and maybe some tips or techniques to kind of make sure they're not missing anything when they come apply at United?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think the first thing I want to share, and the main headline here, is that United is hiring.
Yes,
we are hiring pilots. We're hiring a lot of pilots this year. We're hiring a lot of pilots next year. Already this year, we're planning on hiring around 15 to 1,600 pilots is what we're looking for so far in 2025, and even more next year. We've already hired about 875 to 900 pilots so far in 2025, which means we're still looking for about another 700 more. So all that is to say is that we are aggressively reviewing applications, aggressively moving people through our selection process, and aggressively putting people into class. As of right now, the typical waiting time between your interview to when you go to class is averaging about 1 to 2 months. So we are really making sure we get people through this process quickly because we have that availability. However, if you don't have an application on file, you will not get hired. We don't just walk the streets and try and find someone. You have to have an application on file. So a couple of the main pitfalls that we are seeing for a lot of these applicants on their application, number one, is that they are not officially submitted. So if you have an application on file, you have to actually physically go in and click the submit button to ensure that application gets fully submitted, and then we can then review it. What happens is that if you make any update to your application, or if you change your hours, or if you you change anything on your application, it goes back into a draft status. So you have to be very intentional to make sure that you resubmit every single time that you that you make any changes to your application. And then I think secondly is anytime there is an update to your medical, your passport expiration date, any of that information, please make sure that you go in and you submit that information as well, because it's going to be very important to make sure when we review your application, everything is in the right spot, everything is up to date, and there'll be nothing holding you back then for when we get to that review. So just a couple of tips and tricks that we're very interested in seeing on those applications.
Yeah, that's great. And that's, I just want to key on two of those things. Medical, super important. Make sure, I've talked to several people about, it's not even a bad idea. If you're going to think that maybe it's going to be a couple months, go get a medical that's more current and have it sit there. That's a lot more current. So you just don't forget. And then currency, that's the one that a lot of people that are flying, but what about management folks or people that are military that they're not flying as much? Don't forget your currency updates.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I'll be the first to tell you as well. We obviously prefer individuals that have currency that have flown in the last 12 months.
Sure.
On our application, it states that we prefer at least 100 hours in the last 12 months. If you're currently in a leadership position in the military, that requirement goes down to 20 hours in the last 12 months. And we don't dictate what type of flying that is. We just want to make sure that you can talk to ATC, that you can, fly an airplane, you can land it, you have that stick and rudder experience. But every time you do get that currency, please make sure you also go into your application and update it there as well.
That's huge. Yeah. So, hey, to reiterate what he said, he's not asking for, especially leadership, military, and management, they're not asking for you to be super, super killing yourself to get these 100 hours. Just make sure you have some currency that's showing up in your application. That's a big deal. I know for me, that was one I came over from a management position, and you had told me, and then you have a place in the app. Also, it says, are you currently in a management or leadership position, so that they know that information is being calculated correctly. So don't forget those. Have somebody look over your app. There's so many things in there that could just be little pieces, and having one more eye look on and go, oh, you missed this checkbox or you missed this one thing is a huge deal. Would you agree with that?
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, not to say their application process is complicated, but it is very rigorous, and there's a lot of information you have to put in that application. And so having a second set of eyes, whether it be a spouse or a friend, to just go in and look at your application is going to, I think, only benefit you in that case.
Yeah, everybody call Nick Fialka. You can find his email somewhere and make Nick do work for you.
Yeah.
Well, you got, so that's kind of the traditional pipeline. Reiteration.
Yeah.
I can say I'm so exciting. We are hiring. We need pilots, and we want pilots, and we want you, and we want people. But there's so many different ways to get to United. We kind of talked about the app. There's the traditional. Everybody knows if you're already at an airline or you're fully qualified. Let's kind of talk those three legs, if you will. If a traditional applicant would be somebody coming from a regional or maybe a ULCC or something like that, what are the things that kind of best, maybe one or two things that's going to best set that person apart for getting an interview at United?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good question. And to your point, those that apply on the traditional pathway are typically going to be folks who are already flying in that airline or corporate environment, or current military aviators who are at their separation from the military within the next 12 months or so.
Okay.
Are going to be those folks that'll be best prepared for the traditional application. What we're looking for is a couple of things. Again, and every application that is submitted to us is reviewed by hand. We don't have a machine that says, okay, Justin, review these applications. Every application is reviewed by hand. And I think what's important to us, number one, is going to be complexity of flying. So have you flown jet aircraft? Have you flown them in complex environments? Have you had PIC time, I think is going to be very important. And have you had any leadership experience, are all things that we look for. None of that is mutually exclusive. None of that is a hard and fast requirement, besides the fact that you have to have an unrestricted ATP as well as 1,500 hours. And of course, a medical and passport, all that kind of fun stuff as well. But in terms of hours, there is no hard and fast requirement. We've hired people that have 1,505 hours all the way up to 27,000 hours or greater. So having that range of experience is going to be very important to us. But like I said, the things that set you apart is going to be complexity of flying, PIC time certainly helps, and flying in those different environments are all going to be very important to us.
Yeah, that's great. Those are questions we get asked a lot. And I will say, again, having experienced it myself and talking to a ton of people that have experienced it, they are looking for, hours. I've learned really quickly are kind of almost like the filter. It's like, yep, this person has hours. Now let's look at the whole person and what do they bring to the table at United? Because United doesn't just want pilots who have hours, right? They want safe pilots who are going to bring leadership into the flight deck, because that's the thing they're thinking about is in a year, potentially, or in 2 years, you're going to be eligible to upgrade to captain. Is this person going to represent United in a way that we really is going to take us to the next level? And so that's something they're really looking at. They want to see volunteer. They want to see the things that you do for the community, all of those pieces. So that's awesome for the traditional. Now let's talk about UMPP, which is obviously going to be super near and dear to a lot of people's hearts for this podcast. But the United Military Program is just going gangbusters right now. In fact, my class, I was one of 3, I believe, that was not a UNPP person. And so let's talk a little bit about that program and kind of who it's tailored to and what kinds of things can be expected there.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And the UMPP, or United Military Pilot Program, has been very successful so far in not only helping us reach our recruitment goals, but also ensuring that we provide a stable pathway for individuals that are currently flying in the military who are looking for a home once they separate from the military. Right. So we started this program. I believe we accepted the first applications, if I'm not mistaken, in December 2023. And at that point, we said you must have at least 6 months remaining in the military before you can transition to United. So to apply, you have to have those 6 months remaining. We began our first transitions, I believe, in September of 2024. Throughout 2024, I believe we had a little over 80 UMPP folks that came and joined us here at United. And then so far this year, the program has continued to mature. We've made some updates to some of those requirements. It is now you must have at least 1 year of experience left in the military before you can, before separation, to be able to apply to UMPP. So that's part of the maturity, that's part of the learnings that we've had in this program. But we have already transitioned to close to 400 folks from the military to United just in 2025 alone. And we're looking at around the same number in 2026 and beyond. So again, is a tremendous pathway. I think for the folks that I've spoken with who have joined the program, who have then come to United, have all been very grateful and have all been really excited about this program because it just provides that confidence is that, once you leave the military, you're coming to United, you have that spot here, and then you can fly for us too. So great program, but you should have at least 12 months remaining before you can apply for it, or at least 12 months to apply for it. Gotcha. And then we also ask by the time that you come to United, you should have your 1,500 hours and your unrestricted ATP as well.
Perfect. And then is there a max time? Is it 2 years, or how far out if they want to apply?
Yeah. If I am not mistaken, we currently have a UMPP participant that is separating from the military in 2032. And so there is no maximum timeline at this point. I would say if you meet the qualifications for the program, and this is somewhere that you'd like to consider, please submit your application, because we're actively reviewing people who have separation dates in 2027, 2028, and beyond.
That's awesome. Wow, that's great. Yeah. So I would definitely tell people that you can go out super far. You got to be more than a year. But the big thing is, if you are in that year to 2 year mark and United's the place you like, you definitely should get that in, because one of the things I knew from the people that were in my class is they did all of the applications, they got selected, and then they were just kind of waiting their year to show up to class, and they showed right up to class. And I think pretty much all of them that I talked to they put a date and said, hey, we're available as of whatever date it was. And within a few days, that's when they got their class. So they knew I was rolling out and kind of jumping right in. So that's a massive benefit to the UMPP.
Yeah. There were a few individuals this year that had to wait a few months from the separation date before we put them in the class, just based upon the sizes of the classes we had this summer. But again, that's our commitment to you all, is we will transition you as quickly as we possibly can, given availability. And we've made good on that commitment, I think, so far this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't talked to anybody who's been disappointed at all about the program. So we've got the UMPP, we've got the traditional pipeline, and then you guys also have United Aviate, which is a unique program. And one of the things we get asked quite often is, what about maybe something for my kids, or something that people are growing up, or I have kids in college, or whatever it is. Let's talk a little bit about the United Aviate program, what it is, how it works, and who would be kind of the key applicant there.
Yeah, and if you allow me, there's actually two parts to Aviate that I'd like to discuss. One being the
Absolutely.
program itself, as well as the Aviate Academy.
Oh yeah.
So the Aviate program is the program that you can apply for, and you can interview, you can apply, interview, and get your CJO with United early in your career. Right now, we require you to at least have a commercial license and go to one of our participating Aviate program schools or universities. And then once you reach your hours and your minimums, you then flow to our UAX carriers. You have to be hired by them and be competitive. And then once you have reached your time requirements at the UAX carrier, you then will then transition to United. So it's a great way to again have that confidence of ending up United once you have met those transition requirements. Like I said, it's a great way to go through that program, to be connected to United, and to have that confidence of where you're going to be coming to in the future. Now, the Aviate Academy is a little bit different. Aviate Academy is our ab initio school in Goodyear, Arizona. It's a subsidiary of United Airlines. And that is the place that you can go if you have 0 hours of flight time. You can apply. You can then do all of your flight training at the Aviate Academy. You will then become a Aviate program participant once you have earned your commercial certificate, and then follow the same process through the Aviate program as well. Right now, the application window for the Aviate Academy is actually open right now, and so anyone that's interested, anyone that is either new to flying or have are looking to get their certificates, going to the Aviate Academy is an exceptional way to do that, and you can go and apply on the website right now. So
Awesome.
if you're interested, please make sure you go and do that.
Yeah, that's great. And we're going to talk a little about that at the convention as well. We're going to, because that's going to be, I've had a ton of people talk to me this year, said that they're bringing some of their older kids that are 18, 19,
Absolutely.
20 years old. And so these are programs that are really, really interesting. And I guarantee you there's a United recruiter that wants to talk to you about that. They don't need to talk about just to all the military folks about coming right now, but it's always looking about what the future looks like. And so how long does it take about to do the Aviate Academy to get through zero to what we call zero to hero here, but zero to commercial?
Yeah. It depends on many factors. It depends on your own pace. It depends on aircraft availability. I think it also depends on DPE availability in
Sure.
Goodyear. So the standard process that you'd see at most of their flight schools is what we're seeing individuals go through at the Aviate Academy. The difference is I think you have that full support of both the Academy as well as
Right.
United Airlines helping you through that process.
Is there any type of financing that families or people could get to help them get through that? Or is that just on your own?
Absolutely, yeah. If you require and are looking for student loans and financing, there are many preferred vendors and financiers that we have available to the students that get accepted.
Yep, we get asked that a lot. That's a good to know. Okay, so
And I always will plug too. There's scholarships available too. There's a lot
mhm.
of money being left on the table. And so if you get accepted to the AVA Academy, the first thing I would have done or I would do in that situation is apply for any and every scholarship that I have available to me as well.
Yeah, and that's it's obviously near and dear to our hearts, and maybe we should try to talk to United. That's I'm gonna put that in my back thing. Maybe do an RTAG Aviation United Aviation Academy scholarship partnership. That'd be kind of cool. I like that. So yeah, maybe I'll think about that and see if we can talk to the guys. But yes,
Yeah.
scholarships. I mean, we see them. Not only do we have them, we see them all the time, and people tell us all the time. There's so many scholarships that just they go unused, and nobody
Yeah.
gets them. So start finding those, because if you can get scholarships to even help you out, get into a program like Aviate Academy that can get you all the way through. What a fantastic opportunity to get into this really cool life. And
Yeah, we've seen a lot of really great successes with our program, and to your point, also, the upgrade times right now are pretty competitive,
yeah,
and that's why when we do all of our hiring, whether it be for Aviate, the military program, or traditional, we are looking for individuals that can be those captains in 1 2 years time frame.
that's right. And it's been my experience has been we got some really great captains. We got some really great folks
Yeah,
that are just do a very good job leading the flight deck and taking care of customers and the flight attendants and the crew
yeah,
in the ground. It's really good. It's been fun to see play out. So one of the things that obviously we want to talk about is veterans. And I will say that for me,
Mhm.
I didn't know this, but now that I'm flying out of the B terminal in Denver a lot, even here in Denver, there's a whole wall that just cycles pictures of all of these veterans that are at United, for whether it's on the
Yeah.
ground or pilots or all kinds of things, which is awesome. But what are some of the things that you all, or what, I guess, what let's phrase it this way. What excites the recruiters? Because I have talked to a lot of recruiters and they always tell me, hey, if you see Justin, will you tell him I want to recruit at RTAG? But they want to keep coming back because they want to be around the veterans that are coming to interested in United. So what are some of the things that you've seen that kind of set this group apart, and maybe even some tips and tricks that you could see as a veteran, kind of how they represent themselves and bring themselves to the table at United?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I will say that veterans or military pilots make up a significant portion of the hiring that we do for pilots here at United, and for good reason. And that's because they tend to obviously perform very well in training. We see individuals who have lots of really complex flying experience. I think about individuals who've flown the B-2 or who've flown the F-35. Like, those are very difficult aircraft to fly. And so just the experience that you bring to the table is unrivaled in many of those situations. And so again, huge portion of our hiring, and which is also one of the reasons why we were always very excited to go to RTAG, as with every conference. But we see a lot of really exceptionally qualified individuals at RTAG who have that really great military experience. And we just see a lot of people at RTAG as well, which makes it really exciting. So again, the contributions that you and others who are veterans bring to United is incredible and deeply appreciated. And you all do a great amount of work for both our company and our customers.
Yeah. And that's great. And it's, we love hearing that. And I always want the audience to hear that, because sometimes they don't, right? I hear it a ton because I talk to you guys all the time. And so one of the things that I've been impressed, all the airlines, but United as well, is, September 11th just happened yesterday as of this recording. You guys are watching it weeks after, but it's something that even when I came into INDOC, it was something, because United was unfortunately played a large part in that, and the memory that they keep of those pilots, captains, FOs, flight attendants that were part of that. They even talk about that when it's not, I came in through and in January, we're not thinking about that. They talk about kind of the honor and the legacy that lives through that. And that was something that always, I think, was very impressive to me, that we at United do a very good job about honoring the legacy of the people that have flown at United and been there. And so, again, they are so thankful for military service and what it means. And it's been great to be a part of that.
Yeah, I would agree. And if you even look at our CEO, he's a proud Air Force Academy grad. So we have a lot of really great representation of veterans and others throughout the entire ranks of this company. So again, I think that speaks to the honor and legacy that you all bring to the company, and why we're very passionate about hiring folks like you.
The Army guys won't be too mean to him for being an Air Force guy, but that's all right.
And vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I definitely won't, but no. So we've got RTAG coming up. It's going to be coming up as of when this goes out in 2 weeks. Super pumped about Denver. What are some of the things that you've been coming for a while? What are some of the things that you personally have just kind of liked to see at RTAG? What are some of it's always fun to talk to the different people and see what they like kind of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that I think is very exciting for us is just to see the volume of people that come through. I think you and all the organizations do a really great job of providing accessibility to the individuals that are interested in speaking to United. So I'm just really super excited about just the sheer number of people we plan on meeting. I think in the last couple of RTAGs that I have gone through, we have met nearly 1,000 folks over the 2 days of the conference. So really excited about that. I also, again, this is maybe a little bit shameless too, but as someone who lives in Denver, who's a Colorado native, seeing it here in Denver also makes me really excited. And then finally, just helping us with our hiring goals, right? We have so many people that we need to hire over the next year and a half to 3 years. And so everyone that we're going to meet is going to be just playing a key instrumental role in helping us hire the next generation of pilots at United.
Yeah, absolutely. And this year we've got, being in Denver is kind of funny. Everybody's like, oh, you get to go home and sleep in your own bed. Well, actually, I'm going to stay at the hotel downtown because it's much easier. But it's great for us because we're going to be super refreshed and revived, being able to do it where we live, which is fantastic.
Really excited about that.
But that actually segues pretty perfectly into kind of the next question. The one I get a ton is, you're not really doing meet and greets or pre-signups this year because some of the things you've learned at the other conventions to do a little bit better. A lot of the other airlines are doing the same thing. So what can people expect when they show up to the convention, and how would they, I guess, essentially sign up to get a hold or come and meet United Recruiter?
Yeah, that's a really great question. This year we are doing recruiter meet and greets at RTAG, as we have done at the other conferences this year, and that's going to be conducted in a little bit different of a way than we have done in years past. In years past, we have done pre signups, but we have realized that there are folks that just can't make they cannot make the conference, or they just can't get to it, and so we don't want to let any of those slots go to waste. And so what we do is that we do signups the morning of, and it's going to be on a first come, first served basis. But what we're really excited about is that it's very easy to sign up at the conference. You'll be able to go to the United booth. You'll see a QR code. You'll scan the QR code, and then all you'll have to do is then put yourself on the waiting list. It's very similar to going to a restaurant and putting your name on the list. Nice. And it's a great interactive system because it'll show where you are in the list as we begin to conduct these meet and greets, that your placement on the list will continuously go down. And then as you get close to the top of that list, you will also get a text message from us saying, hey, you're coming to the top of the list. Make sure you head over to the meet and greet room to chat with the United representative. So it's a really great way. Gone are the days we have to stand in line for 4 hours to try and talk to one of us. We want to make sure that you can sign up. We will try and give availability to everyone that wants a meet and greet. Our commitment to try and give that availability to anyone that wants one. We'll give one to them. And then you can go enjoy the rest of the conference. You can walk around. You can talk to others if you'd like. But then we want to make sure that that when it's your time, you'll be able to come back and talk to us.
Well, and that's awesome. And I know a lot of the other larger airlines are doing that. It helps with the crowds. It helps with it actually helps the flow, because we have a lot of good breakout sessions that you might want to come to, or your family wants to come to the spouse sessions. So it gives you that freedom and flexibility. And if we didn't mention, United's hiring this year, guys. So you definitely want to go out there. And one of the things I do love about RTAG that we've tried to present is, and maybe a little different than some of the other ones, is we know, or we believe as far as the board, that we have an asset, right? That a veteran pilot and a veteran backseater and the ground people, they bring a certain thing to the table, and we kind of want you all, to compete for us, right? And so you guys are great about that. A lot of the other airlines are great about that. They know, like, I don't want to say you have to sell yourself a little bit, but you kind of got to sell yourself a little bit, because there is options. And they want to make sure, the reason that I know going to this digital queue has been so helpful is because they want to make sure that you get time to come ask your questions and get asked questions and have those meet and greets. And that's really, really important. And I think it's going to work out really well this year.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then we always want to encourage the participants of these conferences to go to those breakout sessions to build community with the others that are there and experiencing the conference. I think that United's a very great place to work, and the most important person there, obviously, or the most important airline there. But we also want to make sure that you yourself as a candidate have a really good experience. And so I think this new process is allowing all of that to take place.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's fantastic. And it's going to be both days, y'all. So you'll have 2 full days of being able to do that. And yeah, it's going to,
I will say though, the list will refresh. And so we're going to only accept so many signups on day one to make sure that we can complete all those signups on day one. And then if you didn't have a chance to sign up on day one, you can come back on day 2, and we'll make sure that we'll have enough slots for the rest of those folks as well. So the list will not carry over, but we're not going to accept more signups than the capacity that we have on each of those 2 days.
That's great. That's good to know. So just to reiterate what he's saying is, both days you're going to have new sign-up sheets. So if for some reason you didn't get the first day, you can get back in and get the second day to get some time. And if we didn't mention it already, United is hiring.
We are, yes.
We keep trying to tell people this because, for this year, really all of the airlines, I'll say a little slowdown. Like I honestly, it's that tactical pause that we talk about. It's not that you're slowing down. It's that just kind of in preparation of what's happening. And I will tell you from all the internal talk we've had, just what you've heard from Justin about the hiring booms going on next year. We've been saying it at RTAG. You're not coming to RTAG specifically maybe to get that job today or the day that you're at RTAG. You're getting it to get that last prep of what January through summer of next year looks like. It's going to be gangbusters. Most of the airlines are hiring. United is certainly hiring a lot, and you want to get that face time and that good quality time in front of the company that you want to be at. If United's the place that you want to be, you definitely got to get there and see them and get in front of Justin and his team, because it's going to be, one, it's going to be fun, but it's also going to get you recognized. It's that next step to take in the way that you can present yourself for United.
Yeah, and that's great. I think one of the things that I'm also really excited about in the way that we do it here at United is that we offer feedback on your application. And so when you come to your meet and greet, you'll be sitting in front of a recruiter who will be able to pull up your application, and they will tell you if it's in a draft status. They will tell you if your medical is showing is expired. They will tell you if there is something that is not quite right with your application. And so that's one thing that I'm really, really excited about. And I love that our recruiters have that ability to do that. And then secondly, ask any questions that you have, and don't be afraid with the questions. This is a non-evaluative process. We are here to be that resource, and we're here to show you why United is the best place to come work for.
That's right. And again, I'll encourage it as a person who is at United. I did this same thing for a long time. If you didn't see, go back and check out the ride report. I had Justin on, but I talked to Justin several times over a year and some other friends. And because I wanted to make sure that on this next move from my last airline, that this was in fact going to be the place that we were going to stick down roots and be. And we want you there as a pilot United. We want you here, but we want you here all in, because we want those people that are going to raise up the next generation, that are going to be great captains, and honestly going to be part of the United team, which is super fun. And I think you're going to get that. So come with your questions, write them down. Come with your questions. Don't be afraid to ask maybe some of the hard questions. I guarantee the recruiting teams are up for it.
Yeah, we love the hard questions. So the more challenging, the more difficult. Those are our favorite questions.
Oh, you just opened yourself up now. We got some.
Nothing's on the table. Yeah.
All right. I like it. Well, Justin, any last tips or tricks that you can think of, just the RTAG convention, just a little bit away, that you maybe have seen, or just maybe a couple recommendations for how people present themselves, or what to have with them when they come see the United team and the recruiting team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of our recommendations is always going to be have a couple copies of your resume. You can share that both at the booth. You can share your resume, obviously, in the meet and greet room. That's going to be very important to us. And like I said, just be in with your good questions. Make sure that you get what you want answered. There are no wrong questions. We want to make sure that you yourself have a really good experience. We are here for you to have that experience, and we're not here to provide something that's not worthwhile to you as a candidate. So come in, have a great time, bring your resume, come talk to us, and we'll be happy to help you in any way we can.
Man, that's awesome. Well, folks, we are super excited we're just a few short weeks away from RTAG as of you're watching this or listening to this. Yeah. Justin, as always, man, it is so good to talk to you. I just think we need to do like a recurring segment or something, just talking about it. So it's because you're so easy to talk to. But yeah, thanks for representing United in such a great way, and for coming on the podcast with us. And we are pumped up. Last question for you, maybe two, is one, you're coming to the superhero scholarship party, right?
I will be there, and you'll just have to see
dang it,
how I show up.
Dang it. I was going to ask what your costume is. It's going to be a blast. And, United's a platinum sponsor this year. And so we're presenting a scholarship with United because they're so generous. And so we get to do that. And we are so pumped to see you in person, and looking forward to it. Justin, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you very, very soon.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. And like I said, let's have a great time.
Yeah, let's do it. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Justin, thanks again. I hope you all enjoyed that. Justin's becoming quite a good friend of the channel and of RTAG. And he's one that stands up for veterans and wants to champion the causes for us. And it's fantastic. His entire team is wonderful. And we cannot thank you for stopping by enough. So today, no kit bag. In fact, the kit bag is going to be tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Eastern. We are going to have RTAG Nation Podcast live with myself, Tim Kirschbaum, and Jim McClung, the board of directors, to answer all your questions, to get excited and hyped up about what the convention is bringing. We are so excited. Thanks for stopping by. Subscribe, like, hit the bell, all the things. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're subscribed. But we have tons more content Last thing I'll add is drop me a comment below if you want to see something specific in the podcast. We have a ton already pre-recorded of interviews, but I'd like to start getting more content that you will use, and that's going to help you take those next steps into what it is that you want your journey to look like and how we can best help you. I cannot tell you how excited I am for just a few days that we all get to high five you, shake your hands, and say hello. Don't miss that podcast live tomorrow night on Facebook and YouTube. I can't wait to see you all in person and to watch you take the next step on this journey. And thank you for letting us be such a small part of it. We will see you soon. RTAG Nation, we'll see you in the next one. And the next one is this weekend.